Some big gains at USC are going to lead to some big pains. And memo to Kirby Smart, stay in your own lane.
You are Locked On Trojans, your daily podcast on the USC Trojans. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Fight on, everyone. I'm your host, Mark Holkin, and thank you for making Locked On USC part of the Locked On Network, your first listen every day. Whether you're watching this show on YouTube, wherever you want to download your podcast, this show is always free, and you know this show will always appreciate your support. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms are going to apply. So, fall camp, just a few days away. And I'm going to be able to see the team up close and personal, actually, in a media session on Wednesday. And then I'm going to see the team up close, real personal. We'll be wearing shorts and helmets Friday, first day of fall camp. So I'm going to be able to see what kind of shape they are really in. Who put on good weight, right? Who dropped the bad weight? In other words, I want to see who looks like the new dude, big man on campus. The other day, I was scrolling through my timeline on X, and I saw Emmanuel Preyon. I saw him squatting 685 pounds, and he was doing it a few times. It wasn't just one lift. But while he was doing that, he was making this face that I've never seen a human make before. And I'll tell you what, if I'm a defender and I see Preyon pulling on one of those student body rights from his left guard position, I don't want to see that face. It's scary. It's powerful, and you just don't want that coming at you. That's all I'm going to say. Emmanuel's one of the guys who's done a lot of work in the offseason. His body looks right. I would say he's the closest thing of the BKU type of transition. Baby Huey into, whoa, look at that dude. Now, the talk going into the big conference all off season that is USC needs to get bigger on both sides of the ball. They have to look the part. They want to, if they're going to compete in the big conference, they got to get bigger. They got to get stronger. It's much more physical than what they're accustomed to, right? Still, so you want to get bigger, but you still want to be fast. That's part of USC's DNA, to maintain that speed. Bigger and faster is always going to beat smaller and slower. So you want to be able to look like you belong on the field with, Michigan and LSU, Penn State, except the teams that is on USC's schedule this year. Well, USC released their new roster. It's been updated. Fall camp roster. Everyone's weights have been updated. I'm going to go over some of these. Some of them are really impressive. And we're talking about from spring until now. So the end of spring camp to the beginning of fall camp. This is what they call the 10-pound club. These guys gained 10 pounds since the end of spring camp heading into fall. True freshman offensive lineman Kalolo Taaga, he went from 293, he's now 315 pounds. Okay, that's significant. That's more than 10 pounds. You've got redshirt freshman offensive lineman Micah Benuelos. He's almost healthy. I believe he's close to 100%. One of my everyday listeners might want to, maybe you can give me an update. Let me know. Anyways, he went from 300 pounds to 310 pounds. You have true freshman defensive tackle Kalen Miller. He went from 276. He's now up to 295 pounds. You might not know the name. Remember the name, Kalen Miller. You know the name sophomore defensive end edge Braylon Shelby. 250 pounds at the end of spring. He's now up to 265. What about redshirt sophomore defensive end Devin Tompkins? 275. He's now up to 285. Lorenzo Cowan, true freshman, early enrollee, defensive end, 230. He's now 240 pounds. True freshman, defensive end, Cameron Fountain, 256. Technically, he didn't gain 10 pounds. He's checking in at 265. no one's looking, right? And then you also have true freshman linebacker Elijah Newby. Eli Newby, 210, 220 pounds. Heck, even USC's long snapper who transferred from Michigan State, Hank Pepper, he went from 204. He's now at 215 pounds. He's getting himself ready for the NFL. Of those names that I mentioned, all right, Braylon Shelby. Now, he looked the part when he showed up last year. He looks like he's ready for the NFL right now this year. Okay, second-year player. He looks like a guy that you would typically see lined up in Ann Arbor or in Columbus, maybe out there in Happy Valley. Yeah, Braylon looks the part. How about this fall camp? This is Devin Tompkins. He is going into his third fall camp. Every time he showed up to spring camp, you would see a little bit of a difference. And then he shows up to the following fall camp. Always something different. Always looks a little bit bigger, like he's been putting in the work. So he's doing his job. He's developing in the weight room. He wasn't the highest rated guy, a little bit of a project. Lincoln Riley kept him around. He sees something in him, probably likes his work ethic. He just keeps his head down, keeps working. You heard that weight gain. So he arrived since, well, let me say this, since last fall, okay? Since 2023 fall camp, he's added 30 pounds. He got to USC in time to enroll early for spring 2022. Since then, he's gained a total of 65 pounds. He looks the part, right? 6'5", 285 pounds. That is a strong side defensive end in my book and pretty much anybody's book. We like to give Benny Wiley, strength and conditioning coordinator, a lot of credit, and he deserves it. He took a lot of heat, but he said, just tell me what you want and I'll produce. He did that. But you know who doesn't get enough credit? Don't mention the name enough. Her name's Rachel Suba. She's the head of the USC's nutrition program. She and her staff deserves a lot of attention, a lot of kudos, a lot of these, a lot of fight-ons. I mean, between her program, the guys who are preparing the meals inside of Little Galen Center, they're forcing the team. They're putting those calories on. They are packing the calories on in a good way. So as far as the true freshmen, that I mentioned up above, Lorenzo Cowan, Cameron Fountain, Eli Newby, they can play. They can make an early impact on special teams. And again, those guys specifically, big, fast, strong. Yeah, go make a tackle. Make an impression on somebody else's team. Let them know who you are. And you've got others who are still getting bigger, obviously at a different rate. For instance, guys who gained 5 pounds. Well, Deuce Robinson, wide receiver, he went from 215 pounds to 220 pounds. Don't forget, 6'6". 225 is probably where you want him to max out at, I would imagine. His top end speed, it's not hurting. If you take Einstein's theory of relativity and apply it to Deuce, he's a hard object to stop once that mass gets going. Yeah. Lake McCree, tight end, he's gone from 244 to 250 pounds. Good size for tight end. Hopefully he is going to be 100% healthy, ready to go. You've got offensive lineman, true freshman, Justin Tauanu. He's gone from 305 pounds in the spring. He's now at 310 pounds. Left tackle, back up. Jonah Monheim, you know that name. He's gone from 305 pounds in the spring to 310 pounds now. Your starting center. And anywhere else he's going to be needed he'll be needed to play. You got Elijah Page, your starting left tackle. He's now 320 pounds. He went from 316 to 320. When he showed up as a freshman last year, 280 pounds. So 40 pounds. It's good weight. Jamil Muhammad, he's up to 260 pounds. Remember, out of high school, when he enrolled in Vanderbilt, he was a quarterback. They switched him to the other side of the ball. So he's 220 pounds. He's now up to 260. David Peavy, DJ, defensive end. Last year, redshirted, hurt. This spring, he's gone from 256 pounds. He's up to 260. So when he arrived, 6'4", 230 pounds, despite not being healthy, he's still putting in the work. He's now up to 260. He's getting his body in the right shape. You got Sam Green, 250. Now he's up to 255. He's still maintaining that speed. He's a flash off the edge. I think USC really needs him to make a move this year. Defensive tackle, assuming he's going to be playing defensive tackle, Elijah Hughes. In the spring, 285. He's now up to 290. Kobe Pepe, 310. He's now 315. Nate Clifton. He played both defensive end and inside at Vandy. He's gone now from 289 in the spring. He's now up to 295 pounds. Don't forget about Elisha. 265 pounds when he got here out of high school last year. He's now up to 290. So good weight gain. I've talked about some of these players now. Obviously, Kobe Pepe's potential in this defense, it's intriguing. I've been really pumping that name up, pumping him. I think he fits this defense. I think he's going to be what Jay Toya was supposed to be at USC. Jay was nothing at UCLA, and then all of a sudden, Antonlynn shows up with his scheme. All of a sudden, Jay looks like one of the best nose guards, defensive tackles in the country. I'm not saying you're going to see that from Kobe, but I think you're going to see him. I think you're going to remember his name by the end of the year. The guys who were disciplined, the entire team, they showed up in the weight room. They showed up to eat their meals together. Everyone held everybody accountable, right? I mean, you heard I've been having the walk-ons come on the show during the offseason. You've heard from Killian O'Connor. You've heard from Gage Roy. You've heard from Roman Marchetti. They've told you the stories of how much food they're shoving down their throats to gain weight. They're just eat some more. That was their routine. But you know what? It's paying off because now they look like old school USC. You add that to the talent that's on the roster, I think it's all ready to come together. You got the players, you got the coaches, you got an identity. USC looks a part of a Big Ten conference team. Oh, by the way, before I close out this segment, I'm not sure what Zachariah Branch, why he isn't on the list, where he is on the list, but OMG, wow. What he and Jacoby Lane did to their bodies this offseason is scary. And I mean scary in a really good way. You're like me, you probably grew up going to your favorite Major League Baseball park. I was hanging out at Dodger Stadium. And I was doing that before it got really expensive parking. They put up all those corporate logos on the walls. Yeah, well, you know what? If you still want to go, you can get killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, and even a view from your seat with their best price guarantee. Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying tickets. See the view from your seat before you buy so you know exactly what to expect when you arrive. All-in prices show your total up front. That way you know you're getting a great deal before you check out, and you can buy your tickets in seconds. 2 taps, and you'll be done. USC, Trojan fans, LSU fans, every fan. You have your tickets for that game in Las Vegas in a few weeks? Yeah, it's coming up. 32 days. Game Time has deals on tickets right up to the start of the event and even an hour after it starts. It's the place to find last-minute seats. And the Game Time guarantee means you'll always find the best price, because if you find tickets in the same section in a row for less, Game Time is going to credit you 110% of the difference. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code Locked On for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account. Redeem code Locked On, LOCKEDON for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. It's getting warmer. Sunny days are calling. You don't want to turn on the stove in the kitchen. You want to fuel up with those Factor no prep, no mess meals. Meet your wellness goals in time for summer thanks to the menu of chef-crafted meals with options like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, and Keto. Factor's fresh, never frozen meals are dietitian approved and they're ready to eat in just 2 minutes. So no matter how busy you are, you'll always have time to enjoy those nutritious, great tasting meals. Make today the day to kickstart your healthy routine. Stop procrastinating. Do it today. They have over 35 different meals, and you can add 60 different add-ons to choose from every week. And that way you can explore like all your different flavors, all your different cravings. And you can make your day delicious from breakfast to dessert. You can stay fueled with easy, nutritious options. Enjoy your lifestyle. Choose from 6 menu preferences, and that's going to help you manage calories, maximize protein intake, avoid meat altogether if you want to, or simply eat well balanced. Head to factormeals.com/LockedOnCollege50 and use code LockedOnCollege50 to get 50% off your first box. Plus, you'll get 20% off your next month. That's code LockedOnCollege50 at factorsmeals.com/LockedOnCollege50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month with your subscription as long as it's active. I mentioned his name on Monday's episode of Locked On USC. I offered a piece of recruiting news. I said he's out of the state of Georgia. Remember this name? Buford, Georgia High School, 4-star linebacker, Georgia commit, Jaden Perlot. He's considered one of the top athletes in the entire 2025 recruiting cycle. Okay, this is why I wanted you to remember him. Well, he's considered the 201st best overall prospect in the 2025 cycle, and he's also considered the 21st best linebacker in 2025, and he's the number 27 ranked player in the state of Georgia, according to On3 industry rankings. Well, he took his second unofficial visit to USC over the past weekend. It was worth it. It turned out pretty good. Last August, I just want to remind my viewers and listeners who maybe weren't paying attention on Monday's episode. Last August, when Juju Lewis committed to USC, August 2023, Jaden, he tagged the tweet and USC's then linebacker coach, Brian Odom. Back then, he was actually asked about his level of interest in maybe becoming a USC Trojan. And this is what he said in August 2023. I'm talking about Jaden. That's the move. I love it. He was actually talking about, he was excited because his boy, Juju Lewis, had committed to USC. And he also let everybody know at the time that Troy Polamalu, USC legend, that's his favorite player. And I love it every time I'm down there at USC. Well, it's working out. So the other day, my partner in crime over there at wearesc.com, Scott Schrader, he put in a prediction that he was going to flip from Georgia to USC. Guess what happened this afternoon? Today. Yeah. 4-star linebacker, committed to Georgia. He announced his commitment to USC. So, feathering the cap to Coach Antonlynn, his linebacker coach, Matt Entz, Coach Lincoln Riley, and let's start mentioning Eric Henderson's name in this one. He flipped him from Georgia. So, again, despite Coach Brian Odom moving on, no longer part of the program, USC kept the communication process open, maintained that line of communication. And then as Coach Henney got into his ear, interest really picked up. Again, he plays linebacker. USC, I'm told, is recruiting him to play the edge position. So this is a recruit. Jaden is the type of recruit that I want everybody to get excited about. Number one, he's class of 2025. Number two, USC just flipped him from Georgia to USC. I told you, Coach Smart, at the top of the show, stay in your lane. You flipped a USC commit. Granted, it was a 2026 guy. Should have done that. Don't do that. Because this is what USC is capable of when they want to do something. So now you've just taken a guy who was committed to Georgia, and he's been committed for a while. He's now going to be a Trojan. And here's what's really cool about this. Because he flipped, if Coach Lynn's proof of concept starts to show up, if it materializes on the field, which we all anticipate it's going to, that commitment is going to solidify. You know that Elijah Griffin has USC in his top 3. Who knows? Maybe Isaiah Gibson, maybe Justice Terry want to reconsider. Wouldn't be out of the question. USC's defense, if it shows up this year, you're going to get more guys like Jaden Perlot. When Jaden was committed to Georgia, I mean, he took official visits. He did one to Athens. He took one to Alabama. He took one to Tennessee. Took one to Miami. Now he's going to take one to USC at some point during the football season, according to him. And I think when you add him in, you now have, 14 commits? Or is it 12? So you've got Juju Lewis, Matai Tagoai, Romero Eisen, Harry Dalton, Tristan Castro, Gus the Bus Cordova, Shamar Arnu, Willie Wasker, excuse me. Yes. You got Riley Wormley, Hayden Lowe, Elijah Vicona, Corey Sims, DeJuan Morris, and Tanu Kine. So the class is building. And I also have a feeling that the month of August, that we're just 2 days away, 1 day away if you're watching this episode on Wednesday, the 31st. I have a feeling August is going to be a big month. It's going to be a really big month for announcements. Hopefully USC gets a few of those, right? I know Aaron Dunn, the offensive lineman, he's making his announcement. I think I saw it was August 3rd, August 8th, coming up really soon. So again, you always want guys committing, giving the program a little bit of a boost of momentum. And I'm always going to give you recruiting news, updates, keep you in the loop what's happening. Any nuggets that you might not hear, in fact, you won't hear anywhere else. And a lot of times you're going to hear things here first. But as I mentioned on yesterday's episode, when it comes to the 2026 recruits, they're going to get a mention, kind of make you aware of what's going on. But 2 years till signing day in the recruiting world, those are dog years. I cannot emphasize that enough, okay? So I'm not going to get overly geeked up, today's world of recruiting for kids that are 2 years out. I've always liked to focus on the task at hand. So the seniors to be, the guys who are going to be playing their senior years of football this year. And Jaden's one of those. So still a lot to be excited about. Josh Holland yesterday, local kid from Bosco, class of 2026. Today, you got a linebacker edge. You flipped him from Georgia to US. That's a good week. If nothing else happens, that's a good week. One more side note, one more little piece of note, one more note here on recruiting. Scott Schrader, he's supposedly he's visiting Julian Lewis. See what I can scoop out of that, and I'll let you know. If there's anything newsworthy, you'll hear about it. Passion, drive, and patience. What brings home that winning trophy is also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. From superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has got you covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to turn your car into that MVP and bring home that win. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. eBay Guaranteed Fit. Only available to U.S. customers. Hey, Locked On USC fans, anybody who's watching this show, I want you to go check out the Herb and Rogers podcast. Herb and Raj, Herb like boy, capital N, Raj, RODG. They're literally a couple of brothers, siblings. They're also Alabama fans, SEC fans. Most of all, they're big college football fans. And they had me on as a guest on their show today. A lot of fun. Had a great time talking about USC, the SEC, Alabama, Pac-12, the big conference, college football in general. A lot of fun. Really good conversation. By the end of the show, I even had, they had some, it was a live show. So they had some listeners, viewers. They would send in their questions. I even had an Oklahoma fan. I even had a Georgia fan. By the end of the show, they were on my side. Yeah. They were even giving praises to Coach Riley. Mission accomplished. Anyways, at the end of that episode, they gave me I love this idea that they have. And I think, you know what? I'm going to bring it back here. I'm going to go over it with you. At the end of the show, they asked a question. And they gave me the parameters. These 4 players, and I had to choose between these 4 players, who I'd want to work with, who I'd want to play with, hit the town, go out, paint the town red, that type of stuff. Who I would want to live next door with, work with, play with, and call back. So again, who would I want to live next door to? Who would I want to work with? Who would I have to call back? And who do I want to go play? Those 4 things. And then these were the 4 players that I had to pick from. 4 people, not necessarily players. Pete Carroll, Reggie Bush, Matt Leinart, Caleb Williams. So these were my answers. This is what I told them on the show. As far as who do I want to work with, that was easy. That was easy. Pete Carroll. Look, anybody who has seen Pete Carroll work a USC locker room, dude's Pied Piper. He is a magical man. He could sell snow to an Eskimo. Dude, when you go to work, you never want to feel like you're doing a job. I have a feeling working for Pete Carroll is a lot of fun. And I could probably work with somebody who has that type of energy. So that was an easy question. But as you start to do the process of elimination, it gets a little more difficult. So I said, who do you want to live next door to? Again, this one was a little easier for me. And I said, right off the bat, Matt Leinart. 2 reasons. 1, we're in the same industry. We could talk shop, bounce ideas off of each other. 2, I think we see each other. We see things through the same lens as far as real everyday life stuff. Leave it there. Now, then I got 2 players left now, right? I got Reggie Bush and Caleb Williams. Who do I want to go out and hang out with? And who am I going to ghost? Who am I going to send to voicemail? I'll get back to you. Tough call, right? Ultimately, I settled on this. I said, I'm going to go hang out. I'm going to go play with Reggie Bush. Yeah, look, Reggie is he's still the man. Even to young kids today who actually never saw Reggie Bush play live, but YouTube is a powerful tool. Reggie Bush, his highlights still resonate. And he's still recruiting for USC. I just have a feeling that Reggie can open some doors, have some fun hanging out. Hear some cool stories from back in the day when he was at USC. And look, Caleb Williams, as much as I want to hang out with him and have some fun, Caleb's a really busy guy. He has other things to do that are he's got his Caleb Cares Foundation. He is always doing something for the community. He's probably hitting me up to hang out and go do that. I'll get back to him. Not saying I wouldn't do it, but that's where it. And here was really the line in the sand. Pete Carroll, Reggie Bush, Matt Leinart, they were at USC a little bit longer than Caleb Williams. Maybe I changed my mind if Caleb came to USC originally out of high school. Again, it was just a fun thing. Where do you draw the line? I had to tell Caleb, I'll get back to you, man. Hang out, watch TV, cuddle up with your dog. I think Reggie Bush is going to be a little bit more fun to hang out with. All right. So there you go. I had some fun on the show. Go check them out. Give them some support. And I'll be back with another episode tomorrow. I'm going to have some feedback from talking with the players and coaches. Yeah, we're close. Fall camp. It starts Friday. We are there. It's football season. Are you excited? I am. I cannot wait. So until that next episode of Locked On USC, everyone, you know what to do.